All right, so my name's Kathy Watson. I am the founder of Revival Pure Essentials, and I'm a wellness advocate with doTERRA Essential Oils. I also work at Oakville Hospital. So I'm an X-ray technologist and a CT technologist, and I do some other fun stuff in diagnostic imaging at the hospital. And I've been doing that for 25 years. And the first time, so we're talking hormones today, which isn't really exciting, but it's really important because I don't know if you guys are having issues with hormones, but I definitely am. And I have had different hormone crises over the last 10 years. So I'm going to start with how this all kind of started for me. I was about 42 years old. I was in a horrible relationship and I was super, super stressed out. And I found myself with chronic fatigue, chronic pain in my joints, and complete loss of my period, which is kind of nice, but you know that there's something not quite right there. So I sought the help of my doctor, and he did a whole bunch of tests and said there's nothing wrong with you. You're not in perimenopausal. I thought that might be it. And he recommended I start taking pain medication. So at the hospital, we see a lot of patients with chronic illnesses and even illnesses caused by overuse of medication. And it's very, very difficult to we just don't want to take medication if we don't have to, obviously. So I decided to seek the help of a naturopath. So the naturopath, she did a bunch of tests. She was pretty sure I was in adrenal fatigue. And what adrenal fatigue does is it affects all of the hormones in your body. It's part of the endocrine system, and it regulates all the hormones that make everything work in your body. So your body basically works with hormones. And so the adrenal glands sit just above the kidneys, and they're a tiny little gland, but they're really, really important. So my naturopath gave me some natural supplements and medication, natural stuff. And within a few weeks, I was feeling great. Like I felt awesome. I had energy back. And so I was feeling really, really good. And fast forward, probably 6 to 8 months, and I stopped taking them because I was feeling great, as we do. And I crashed again. And I was really, honestly, too lazy to go back to the naturopath. So Steph and Steph is a doTERRA wellness advocate as well. We started researching what helps with adrenal fatigue. And we found out that a blend called Elevation helps with hormones, with adrenal fatigue. So I ordered it up, and when I got it, I diffused it. So again, I had the chronic fatigue, I had the chronic joint pain in all of my joints. And I have a lot of injuries and I have a lot of joint pain from injuries, but this was very different. It was every single joint, and I just felt terrible. And I got the Elevation, and I diffused it for 3 days, and I got my period back. I got my energy back, and the pain went away.
Yeah, my friend Michelle messaged me. She says,
so anyway, so I had just started using the oils, and this win was amazing for my confidence, and also to know that these things work. So that was kind of my first hormone crisis. That's what I'm going to call it, because I like it. Sounds really exciting. So, and now fast forward 6 or 7 years, and it's a totally different ball game. And I'm sure that some of you are having the symptoms that I'm having, but symptoms of perimenopause and menopause are hot flashes, irritability, mood swings, anxiety, depression, weight gain, decreased libido, all of the fun things that we get to deal with. So what I thought I would do today is go over, and I kind of, what I like to do is, I'm obviously not a medical doctor. I have a medical background, but I like to research, and I also like to try things on myself. So last year, this year's been very stressful, obviously, for all of us with COVID and all of the things. And I also had a huge flood in my house in last April. So our whole house was completely destroyed last April. And then in, I think it was June or July, they kicked us out of the house. They moved it was like we were moving out. Everything moved out, and we moved out into a trailer into the driveway. My boyfriend had 2 surgeries, 2 operations for kidney stones. And I was like rolling through all of this, guys. And then when we moved back in, I crashed. I crashed hard, and I started getting hot flashes and all of these symptoms again, the fatigue, the like just not feeling good. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I had stopped all of my routines. So I'm like, we're getting back into a routine. So I'm going to tell you, long story short, I'm going to tell you my routine for hormone balance and to reduce some of those symptoms like hot flashes and night sweats, because those are nasty. If you've ever had them, anybody? Yeah, it's awful. So I was having probably 7 or 8 night sweats a night. So I would wake up completely drenched, and it's gross. So I didn't want that to go on forever. So these are the things I've done. First of all, there's 5 key things that you need to follow. And I do have notes because I can't remember all of this, guys. It's part of menopause. Memory goes. So I'm writing it down. So diet. So our diet is so important. And I know that I totally fell off last year. So now I've lowered by a lot, lowered my sugar intake, because I noticed that's a huge correlation to my hot flashes. And I restarted my lifelong vitality supplements. Now, if you've seen any of my talks before, I'm always going to recommend these because this keeps your body healthy from the inside out. So if you haven't heard about these before, there's 3 different supplements in here. One is for vitamins and nutrients, which we don't, even if you eat the healthiest ever, our foods just don't have the nutrients that they're supposed to anymore. There's a omega supplement here, so great for bone health, heart health, brain health, and then the antioxidant part. So what these do is support your body from the inside out. It makes all of your systems work better. It makes all inflammation lower in your body. There's a list of great benefits. Energy, bone health, immune function, stress management, cardiovascular health, hair, skin, nails, eye, brain, nervous system, liver function, digestion, lung, respiratory, and it's no GMOs. So that's always a bonus because we don't need any weird stuff in our bodies. So diet is super important. And for me, I love to eat, like I would literally eat all day long. So I also use a oil. So all of these things you guys know, diet, exercise, all of these things, I'm just telling you how you can support yourself using the products from doTERRA. So I use Smart and Sassy, and I know Michelle loves Smart and Sassy, but this is a blend of oils that's our metabolic blend. And what it does is it can actually reduce the amount you want to eat. So I forget what that word is. Anyone? The word. It lets you not want to eat as much, which is nice. It's completely natural, so it's not a diet appetite suppressant or anything like that. It's just naturally these oils make you want to eat less. So that's really great. It also boosts your metabolism. So that's always great with menopause because we start, our metabolism gets all messed up.
How much of that can you take a day, Kath?
Um, so they recommend at the most of all the oils to take internally, like I think it's about 24 drops total. So it depends what else you're taking. Now, for those of you who may not use essential oils yet, I'm talking doTERRA oils. They're the only certified pure therapeutic grade, so they have nothing else in them except for the pure essential oil. Not all oils are created equally. So when I say internally, I'm only talking about doTERRA. It's, in my opinion, it's the only safe oil to take internally. So that's just like a little side note if you're not using oils already. So what I do, Michelle, is I put 2 or 3 drops in my water in the morning.
Okay.
Admit somebody. 2 or 3 drops in the morning using a metal or glass container.
Yeah.
No plastic because that can break down and cause all sorts of other problems that we don't want. I'm having a drink. I'm thirsty.
Kathy, why would you take that smart and sassy other than wanting to be sassy?
Like I need more sassy, right? So what it does is it actually increases your metabolism in the body. This blend of oils is like I said, is our metabolic blend. And it also makes you not want to eat as much.
I feel like it gives me energy.
It gives you energy. It's got citrus.
Like just not eat as much in general, or not eat as much like say chocolate or like that, which seems to really help.
Oh, Amy.
So
Chocolate doesn't
for
count.
me, for me, my bad time for snacking is at night.
Yes.
I'm terrible after, like when we chill, we actually chill in our garage, which is a whole nother story. But after our flood and our reno, our house is actually too nice for us. We're kind of got more trailer trashy as the summer went on. So we have a garage hangout now, which is super fun. So at night I want a snack. So I put this in my water and then it doesn't, then I'm not as like, I don't know, it just somehow takes that feeling of wanting to eat something.
And I don't do that. I put it into like a shot of water.
Yeah. And everybody's different. Some
shot.
people find it too, it's a bit spicy. So some people don't like it, but you know, you do whatever works for you. It doesn't really matter how you do it. That's the thing with the oils is that it's different for everybody, and you'll figure out your best way to use it for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So that's kind of how I support myself with diet. Exercise is so important when we are going through this time, like with any hormonal issues, whether you're a teenager or are my age. So stress and hormonal issues are way worse when your cortisol is up. So what causes cortisol? Stress. And what lowers cortisol? Exercise. So we all know that when we exercise, we feel way better. I'm a little bit lazy these days. I think it's the weather. So what you need to do is find what works for you. So what I do personally is I do a little, maybe a yoga once a week, and then I join in with a Zoom class with a girlfriend of mine a couple times a week, and then we go for a walk a couple times a week. So it looks different for everybody. Some people want to go to the gym and go crazy. That doesn't interest me. I need my exercise to be helpful emotionally as well. So for me, exercise is so important. And I know I really feel it when I don't do it. It doesn't have to be crazy workouts. It can just be like just moving your body, right? And so some of the oils that can support you through that are Deep Blue. That's our blend that's for pain. So if you have muscle soreness or some sort of joint soreness, that's a great one. Peppermint to get you going. Easy Air to open the airways. So we have lots of oils to support you through motivating you to get going with your exercise, and if you have any pain around exercise. So that's how I can kind of support you through that.
How do you
And
use
that's
the
really
Easy
important.
Air?
I'm sorry, did someone have a question?
Yeah, sorry. How do you use the Easy Air?
When I'm working out, I like to rub Easy. So
Understood.
Easy Air, for those of you that don't know, is our respiratory blend. It's a blend of oils that's obviously opens the airways. So I love Easy Air to rub on my chest before I'm working out. Opens the airways, it's invigorating. It's got that peppermint and eucalyptus, rosemary. So they're very like, happy oils. So I love that on my chest. It just opens the airways. So I love that on my chest when I'm exercising. Yeah, so that's how I use that. So the next one is stress. So stress is our enemy because it increases cortisol. Increased cortisol makes your hormones worse. So stress is really, really, really bad. And the few times that I've had really bad crisis with my hormones have been when I'm super stressed out. So the first time with a bad man that was in my life, and second time kicked out of my house because it's completely destroyed. So pretty big things, but it doesn't have to be a big event like that. Some people have it after pregnancy. Some people have it like it does, anything can stress you. I have this hair flying in front of me. Anyway, so anything could be a stressor. Everyone's different and different things affect different people. But the thing is that we need to manage stress. So great ways to manage stress. Lavender, I put lavender in my bath at night. What other ones are good for stress?
Serenity.
Adaptive, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Serenity.
Serenity is great. Adaptive is our our anxiety blend. So it's super good, but we have lots of options. So stress is key. Managing your time so that you're not stressed is key. That's something I've learned in the last probably 4 months. For me, I'm working full time. I'm running a business almost full time. I have a family, I have a boyfriend. So just managing life and balancing it is super important, but just supporting yourself and sometimes just a little bit of citrus in the diffuser, any citrus is just can make all the difference. So it's just being consistent with how you're supporting yourself. So that's why I love the oils, is because something so small can just completely change your mood and just snap you out of whatever's happening in life. So that's a big one, stress management. This is one that people don't think about as much because we know about diet, exercise, stress. We know this. We're not like, we're smart women, right? But reducing toxic burden is actually huge for your hormones. Now, I didn't know this before I started down this path, to be honest. I used all of the things. I used the Febreze, I used all the scented stuff, so I am not judging anybody for what they're using in their house. But what I've learned is that many of these products, actually all of these chemical products, are changing your hormonal balance. They alter hormones in your body, which is terrifying because we're all using all of the things from shampoo to conditioner to laundry detergent to bounce sheets, all of those things. So slowly I've reduced all of those things. I've replaced all of my things, those things that I would have bought that are chemical, are with my doTERRA stuff. So we have everything that you need to reduce your toxic load. Hormone imbalance is a huge problem. The toxins are a huge, huge, huge issue. So if you're wanting to look into doing that, I can help you with that. And it's not hard. It's actually way easier than using the chemical stuff. Yes, the sanitizers and wipes are terrifying. Now, I can't control, I have to use certain things at the hospital. I have to use their sanitizer. I have to use I wear gloves to use the wipes that we use to clean at work. They're carcinogens. Like it's ridiculous. Our On Guard, like I don't know, some of you have used oil, some of you haven't, but our On Guard cleans better than any chemical cleaner. We have a whole line around this with our concentrated cleaner, laundry soap, foaming hand soap, hand sanitizer that you can take with you. So there are so many options. You can't really control what happens outside of your house, let's be honest, but you can control what happens in your house, and it will make a huge difference in not only your health, but certainly for your hormones and your kids' hormones and your grandkids' hormones. So toothpaste, again, is another one that's a big hormone disruptor. So reducing toxic burden. Okay, I'm done with that. Sorry, I went on and on. Feeling passionate about the toxic burden today. You guys, it's not as exciting. So anyway, self-care rituals. So this is what I was kind of getting into when I was talking about scheduling your time, and you have to schedule in time for yourself, because we know as women, we look after the kids, we look after our work, we look after our businesses, we look after our husbands or boyfriends or whoever, significant other, and we don't look after ourselves. So this is something I'm 100% scheduling in now, and everyone in the house knows when I have that time. So for example, Sunday mornings, I do my workout on the Zoom, 9:15 to 10. And then I do my business stuff. So it's really important to schedule time for yourself. How can we look after ourselves? We can ground ourselves with oils like frankincense and balance and serenity. So we're just taking time for ourselves, whether that's having a hot bath or having a quiet coffee in the morning or whatever that is. But it's super important to look after you. So that's kind of like the 5 pillars of health that are really, really super important. And again, if anyone has questions, I don't know if you guys know how to do the chat, but you can ask questions in the chat, or we'll do like a question and answer at the end as well. So, but you're welcome to chime in. Like this isn't really formal. So if you have questions, just feel free to ask. So top 5 oils for perimenopausal and menopausal women. Clary sage. This one's huge. It's amazing for hormone support. It smells kind of weird. It's sage. So, you cook with sage. This one, it's just very earthy. So earthy.
How do you use that, Kath?
I'll go over that in just a sec. So there's a few different ways I use it. The geranium is another one, peppermint, rosemary, and lavender. Lavender's good. So those are the top 5. There's other ones that are helpful. Like I really like liang liang, which is more of a floral smell, but it's I use that in some of my blends. So one blend that I use daily. So the important thing is to kind of make rituals for yourself. So you're using things consistently, because we all know that if we're not consistent with things, they don't work as well, right? So for me, it's my Lifelong Vitality. And I have another supplement that I want to tell you about, but I want to specifically tell you about that after, because it's really changed everything. So I have a blend. This is my blend from when I had my adrenal fatigue, but it's still very supportive for my hormones. So I have Elevation, frankincense, citrus bliss, cedarwood. This is a beautiful blend that I wear daily, kind of is my perfume. Instead of perfume, it's more of a pure, it's just kind of my smell, supportive for hormones. Another thing that I've made up, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. And this is a beautiful combination. So this is clary sage. Can you see these little guys? Clary sage, geranium, peppermint. This is for when you feel a hot flash coming on. So what this does is it helps balance your hormones, but the peppermint also is very cooling. So I spray this, like I'll just spray it here because like that's where I get hot when I start getting warm, especially in the day. I'll put it here and it cools your body. Your peppermint actually physically cools your body temperature. And then the other two are super supportive for your hormones. So they'll help regulate everything, which is great. I no longer have daytime hot flashes, which is awesome because I was probably having 5 to 10 a day during the day. And then I was probably having like 5 or 6 at night, waking me up soaking wet. And now I've had 1 a night for the last probably 2 weeks, which is, I'm okay with that. It's a lot better. So these are actually really working, and I don't like to talk about things until I've actually seen them work. So this one super helps. This one I keep on my bedside because I just spray it on like when I wake up, and it just cools me down right away, which is great. What else? We have this little roller bottle. This is actually Alex's roller bottle that I made him. Don't tell him. He might be watching. I'm not sure. Rosemary, sandalwood, passion, liang liang, zendocrine. Rosemary, sandalwood, liang liang, also very good for hormones. And passion is one of, actually I have it diffusing right now. It's kind of a cinnamony kind of scent. It's delicious smelling. And so he uses that one for his hormones. So it's not just for girls. I made that up. I pretended it was, just to smell good, but it's for other reasons, ladies, just saying. Okay, this one is called Clary Calm. So this has clary sage. This is our women's blend. So if you don't want to get all crazy and be making up roller bottles and stuff, you can just get this. So Clary Calm is great to have. My daughter uses this for her periods cramps. It's great for PMS. It'll regulate hormones, which is great. So this is Clary Calm. It has clary sage, it has liang liang, has a bunch of the ones that I told you about in it already. So this is a really nice one to have around to regulate hormones. And then this is something that I added on that made a huge difference with my symptoms for menopause or perimenopause or whatever I'm in right now. Phytoestrogen. So this is a natural product. It's just 3 different ingredients. It's soy extract, flaxseed extract, and pomegranate fruit extract. So I've been taking it, but I was just reading up on it. And it's real. This is only in our US site. You can get this one. It's actually out of stock right now, but I'm sure I'll be back soon. It's super, super supportive for hormones at any age, but especially in menopause. But also it's good it's an antioxidant. So pomegranate is an antioxidant. So that on top of my Lifelong Vitality supplements, which also have an antioxidant, I'm like set for antioxidants. So it just provides a healthy basis, and you're really healing yourself from the inside out, which I love about this kind of looking after yourself. It's natural, and your body's just working on all cylinders. So it allows everything to work better. So that's my little chat, guys. I want to open up for any questions that you might have, and any feedback or anything, let me know.
Hi, Kath. It's been kind of crazy for me too, with working so many hours, and
Yeah.
I've just changed jobs. Yay.
Yay.
Work 9 to 5, 4
That's
days a week, not like 6. But I have started taking the Vitality Pack, and that's been helping. I'm not sort of like you guys. I went into menopause jump by having surgery. So I'm thinking, is this going to help in the same way? I don't get as many hot flashes. I don't have as much of that stuff going on. I mean, I do get warm here and there and, you know,
Yeah.
that type of thing, but, so I'm wondering if everything would do the same thing despite me not having all parts.
Yeah, well, so these aren't hormones, they're just supporting you. They're supporting your body so it works better, basically, is what they're doing. So you might not need as much because you're not having those symptoms, but I think you're really starting off perfectly taking the LLV and just supporting yourself, letting your body heal and work better. Because I know you said you wanted to get a little more active, so like that's going to give you the energy and the less inflammation to get going with that, right? Like it's
Yeah,
small steps. You can't do everything at once. It's one step at a time.
yeah, well, I just ordered the Deep Blue and they have, when I did order it, and I just got an email the other day that it could take longer for mine. So remember when I said to you, when I went for the later date, when I bought it out of the US,
Yeah.
it took the Deep Blue off. So I'm
Uh,
wondering if that's what the wait is now, trying to wait for that Deep Blue. At least it was ordered,
yeah.
but so now I'm just waiting for
No,
them to say
guys, I
it's going to
think
be sent out now.
those of you who are using doTERRA, like I think with COVID, it's kind of a little bit all over the place. They're out of a lot of products on and off. So yeah, I think when you get the Deep Blue polyphenol, Janine's talking about the Deep Blue polyphenol. It's a supplement for inflammation and it's amazing for any sort of pain you have. So it's yeah, it'll get there, Janine, and I know you'll love it when you get it.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping.
Yeah, you will. Any other questions?
I just want to say the Deep Blue is awesome.
I know.
It's not like a normal rub.
No.
It takes away the pain rather than just kind of masking it with some heat or cold. And Kathy's right, with the inflammation, it decreases the inflammation, which which heals it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, my husband's got the information too, and even somebody offered him some of the CPD oil, and he prefers the Deep Blue with the copaiba, and then I usually mix in like lemongrass or something along that line. You know, it might be different each night or whatever it is, but he says it works a lot better. So
Yeah. Alex, my boyfriend, was shoveling whenever it snowed. The big snowfall was it Monday, Tuesday? And I came home and he was like, oh, my arms. Like he had this big lump on his arm. He pulled a muscle or something. And so I'm like, okay, he doesn't like me putting stuff on him, but I put Deep Blue on him and I just rubbed it in. And he was really going on and on about it. Like, like guys do. like a lot of drama, guys. And so I rub it on at night, and then the next night I'm like, oh, hey, how's your arm? He goes, oh, I forgot about my arm. I was like, see, should use the oils, dummy. Anyways, that's my story with my dumbbell.
When you're doing blends, Kathy, how do you know how much of each to put, or are you doing equal amounts all the time? Like when you mix the clary sage, geranium, and peppermint?
I just did equal parts on that. Generally, for the spray, this spray actually, where is it? Cool is okay. So this book, I want to show you this book, and I've done a lot of my research from this book, guys. This is the Essential Oil Hormone Solution.
I have that.
Oh, you have it?
I do.
If you're having hormone issues, you absolutely need this book.
Yeah.
This is Dr. Maritza Snyder. She's talking about doTERRA oils in here. She doesn't come out and say it, but she's part of our doTERRA team. Not my team, but just in general. She does some work with doTERRA. Has a 14-day hormone rescue in here. So it's eating, it's oils, it's a whole support system. If you're really having problems, it goes over a lot of the stuff I talk about. And I haven't done this rescue to a T, but I've done it loosely and it's made a massive difference. So if you didn't get the name of the book, I can message me and I can post it in my group and stuff. But it's an amazing book. There's also some great information online. There's a Dr. Axe who's on YouTube, and he is a naturopathic doctor, and he talks a lot about oils and hormones and all of that stuff too. So you can always Google that. Yeah, any other questions, guys?
Kathy, you'd said there were 5 essential oils. I got 4: clary sage, geranium, peppermint, and lavender, and
Rosemary.
Oh,
Yeah,
rosemary. I missed that one too.
Rosemary. You know, rosemary is kind of one of those ones that you don't think of using. It smells so good though. It's very, I don't know, it's
So, and if you use them on their own,
Mhm.
those top 5, how are you using clary sage?
I would, if you're using them on your own, I mean, you could, any oil, any pulse point's good, wrists. You could even put it in your uterine area, like lower abdomen, if you're having any sort of issue. But any pulse point, you can pretty much put them anywhere. Well, not anywhere, but any. Don't put them there, okay? Especially deep blue. Don't do that.
Any like burning parts happening here.
That would definitely be bad. But yeah, pulse points are always pulse points, neck, spine, base of skull, even bottoms of feet. It gets into your bloodstream really quickly. So any of those spots are really good spots. And I find, you know, there's certain things that I use certain places, and you kind of, once you're getting used to using your oils, you're kind of feeling what works best for you. So I love, for geranium, I love putting geranium in my face cream in the morning.
Yes.
It's also, I've been using it, I've got some fun mask acne. So I actually put makeup on for you guys today. So it's the first time in ages. But I love geranium in my face cream. So in the morning, it immediately makes me feel great. It's super soothing to the skin. It makes your skin so soft. It's great in the hair as well. So I find I have geranium in my bathroom because I like to use it in the morning, but then I'll have peppermint somewhere else. So it's just really, you kind of get a feel of when it works best for you, when and where it works best for you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know you're using your oils, so you know, for probably some of them already, you have a feel of what works best, right? So it's just getting to know them and using them and see how you feel after you use them.
Yes. I'm hooked on elevation right now.
Elevation, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah. It's so good. It's
Super
made a
good.
difference in my world, my everyday.
Yeah, it's in it. So it's called the Joyful Blend, and who doesn't need that right now?
Yeah.
It's a very strong blend, but so you don't
Yeah.
need much of it, but it's so good.
It
It's
changes my mood
Yeah.
in no time because it is so strong, right? And at first I think I put way too many drops in. I thought, whoa, it was really strong in my house. And
yeah,
but it changes your whole, it's
everything.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super
Really good
good.
one. I love it.
Super good. So that's in my everyday. So I put this on every morning. So in this roller bottle, I like my roller bottles really strong, but you don't need to make them as strong. But I do 5 drops of Elevation, 25 drops of Citrus Bliss, 20 of frankincense, 20 of cedarwood, and this every single day, every morning I put this on to support my body.
Okay.
And it smells delicious too, in my opinion. Yeah.
Okay, question.
Yeah.
Would you attribute you dropping down to like 1 hot flash a night? Because I would be cool with that.
I
Right
know.
now, I'm at like, I don't even know, just waking up every hour, like just hot.
That sucks.
I know. It's the, I was gonna swear, it's the, you know what, worst.
It is- it is the
100%, I would say this is probably the biggest reason, because my body is just working better. I haven't used my spray in probably 2 or 3 weeks because I haven't felt like I needed it. I have it by my bedside in case, but I think it's just all of the little things that I'm doing to support my body, and cutting back sugar has helped a lot. I mean, I haven't cut out sugar by any means, but it was a little out of control. So
I thought this was like guarantee, give me a little pill. I don't have any sweats anymore. What's going on?
you want me to guarantee it?
I
That's
just,
said?
like, oh, I've tried like so many different things to stop
Yeah.
this things, and it's just so frustrating. I'm just
Yeah.
cranked because I'm not sleeping right and stuff like that. So
Yeah, no, I understand.
like, so you're saying like that, the vitamin blend behind you,
Yeah.
exercise and keeping your stress down, and
Yeah, it's so the reason I don't the reason I waited to do this talk, because I've done a few already in this series, is because I don't want to tell I could read this book and tell you to do all the stuff, but if it's not going to work, that's BS, right? Like I would never do that. I'm following exactly what I'm telling you and I'm getting results. So I can't guarantee that you will get the exact same results, but I know that it's helped a huge amount in my life. So yeah, I'm not here to sell it to you like as a miracle cure, but this is basically just looking after your body, right? Like you supporting your body is gonna make it work better. I was reading actually in other countries, like other countries that aren't kind of the craziness as North America is, they don't get the symptoms that we get because they're eating, like their stress is lower and they're eating better, and we're just go until we just crash. And I've done that a few times, and that's why I'm here to support people into living healthier, right? So that's what I'm doing, and I'm pretty sure it would work for anyone here, but I'm not going to guarantee it. So
No, I'm sure no guarantees, but I mean, with modification for what you like in the way of smells and what works for you, so maybe not blend everything, try one at a time at different
Yes.
times of the day and things like that. Like I had Clary Calm and I was into it for a while and I got away from it, but that maybe that's something to go back to. The woodsy thing just kind of sort of calmed me down more in the afternoon, whether, with stress and everything at work, and it
Mhm.
seemed to work for me. But peppermint seems to lift my spirits to a certain degree too. So, but geranium,
I know.
for
I hate
me, it's not the smell, it's the smell. It's not as good for me.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
but I remember one time somebody said, just have a whiff of rosemary in the shower, and it was like, whoa, cleaned out the nostrils. And so
So true.
everything is different for different people, right? So we'll
That's the
just have
thing
to
with oils,
modify.
is that it affects everyone affects people differently. And of course there's blends like there's lavender and serenity, which are lavender based. And I have a friend who tried lavender and it gave her a headache, which I've never heard before, but she tried it numerous times and every time it would give her a headache. So then I suggested balance, because balance has the same grounding effect, but it's more of a tree based, like a fir and that kind of. So everybody's different. So it's kind of, you have to give it a try. And
I think the scary part, or not scary part, but the unsure part was I didn't know how to use it. Well, Kathy, I mean, I had a million questions because I always say, well, how do you use that? What do you use that? Where do you do that? Do I diffuse it? Do I put it on my body? Where do I put it? Is it better on the bottom of my feet or the back of my neck?
yeah.
And it's, I think for me, it was only because it's hard to believe that you can, that doTERRA oils are so pure, right? And most of them totally ingestible and okay. So I struggled with that, to get over that, to know that they were all safe. And there were just so many of them and I couldn't remember. It was driving me crazy. I can't tell you how many oils I now have. I just got my delivery yesterday. I have so many. And I look at them and I go, oh my God, what do I do with them all? And I Google them and I look up in that hormone book and I go to Dr. Axe all the time. What do I do with this? And you've given me so many things. I've got a book that's given me like lists of things, what Kathy says to do with my oils.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people start like with their diffuser because that's just seems a bit safer. You know what I mean? Not safe, like physically safe, but just it's an easy thing to do and you get a great benefit from it. And then you start branching out from there. So, I mean, how long have we been doing this stuff? Like how many? It's like, I think it's probably 6 years we've been using the oil. So like, I haven't learned this overnight. But I really, like, you just have to let it go and maybe just kind of feel it. I know it's kind of a weird.
I have a question about the lemon because normally I was always putting like a full lemon into my water and now why only like a couple drops? It just doesn't seem like it's the same as a whole lemon that I would squeeze into my water.
Yeah, so it's a little different because it's concentrated, right? So the lemon oil comes from the rind of the lemon. So you know when you peel the lemon and it kind of sprays, that's lemon oil. So it takes probably, I don't know the number, but I'm three what stuff?
I think it's 3 whole lemons in 1 drop, I think.
Oh my gosh.
It's something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't have to, like, you're getting, okay, say you're putting 3 drops in, you're getting like 9 lemons.
Wow.
Ergo, when you're using
just-
some of the other ones for like basil and stuff like that, they say put a little bit on the end of a toothpick and put it in and try it, because otherwise you get an awful lot and it can just ruin the taste of things because it's adding so much.
Right.
And a drop of lemon in your water is like adding a whole bunch of that, regular lemon that you can buy in that big bottle.
Right.
It gives it much more flavor, much more taste.
Yeah, I love it every morning.
Yeah, and it detoxifies your body, so it's a great way to start.
Yes.
Yeah, any citrus will do that.
Okay.
But the combos that you're making yourself, when you're talking about the drops, are you like putting that into water and then in the roller balls, so roller containers, or?
I just happen to have a whole drawer of roller bottles, so I'm going to kind of demonstrate. And it's always better to dilute it first with a fractionated coconut oil, which is a liquid coconut oil or jojoba oil.
Carrier oil.
Or something, yeah, carrier oil, that's right.
Yeah.
So this is a 10 mil. They recommend probably, depending who you're using it for, if it's a kid, probably 5 drops or something like that. I don't know, I don't have any little kids. You guys might know better, but I probably would start with 10 to 20 drops in here and then a carrier oil. So I just put the drops in and then I fill it with my carrier oil, pop the roller on, and then you're ready to go. So I just personally like mine stronger, and that's just personal opinion, but I always recommend starting more diluted because you can always add more, but you can't take it away, right? So
Is that just because it's so strong or because?
yeah, it's just so strong, but it works just as well. If you don't have to, more doesn't mean it works better.
Okay.
1 drop will work just as well as 5 drops. It's kind of personal preference, I think.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
don't they say too is less is more
Yeah.
in a lot of things?
Yeah, exactly. So it's just kind of getting the hang of it. And when people start, you don't know if you're going to be sensitive to it or how your body's going to react. So it's always smart to dilute it first, and then you can kind of go from there. There's lots of things I put directly on my skin that I know I'm fine with, but you might not want to start that way.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to stop recording, but we can still